Welcome back to CryptosRus. I'm George. We're all George. We have very bullish or dovish, I should say in this case, Fed governors as well, right? You got Bullard, who is backing 100 basis point cut for this year, not 50 basis point, 100 basis point. So the first one being maybe 50 basis point, and then we have a second one 50 basis point. There are some that agree we need to lower rates ASAP, right? And he is actually one of the contenders to be the next Fed chair too, after Powell is gone. So maybe that's the reason he's trying to gain the favor of Trump so he gets appointed next. Who knows? But yeah, right now, it's kind of up in the air, right? Are we going to get a rate cut or not? Right now, it does seem like we are still going to get one in September, regardless. The percentage, though, is dropping. We started out 96%, then dropped to 80-something percent. Now we're down to 79%. Those odds are still good. We're still probably going to get a rate cut. But the 50 basis point one seems like that's out of the window for September. And how many more are we going to get for the remaining of this year, right? That's the big question. But yesterday's correction, actually this whole week's correction, has a lot of people kind of worried. This has nothing to do with crypto, but I saw this is pretty significant. Meta is putting brakes on a massive AI talent spending spree. They've been spending billions upon billions to get more talent into the AI division. And now, because stocks have fallen, some of these companies are starting to rethink all that spending. And I'm sure a lot of other companies out there too are halting their hiring as well, not just in AI, just in general. Right? So, not that good. And I saw this too. The dollar falls against every major currency as U.S. stocks post the worst global underperformance since 1993. What does this mean? Even though the Dow and S&P and NASDAQ hit all-time highs earlier this year, other markets from around the world have gone up substantially more than the U.S. Maybe this is due to the fact that we're so worried about rate cuts. Maybe Powell has too many of these, meetings or press conferences or whatever, right? Like, why is there a Jackson Hole speech? Outside of FOMC press conference, that should be it. But it seems like he's speaking like every month. And it gets markets spooked. Every time he talks, markets go down. They never go up because he's always been hawkish and more hawkish. That's probably the reason why the U.S. stock market is actually underperforming versus all the other ones out there. So, yeah, it kind of sucks. Can't wait until we actually get a new Fed chair next year. But in the meantime, we just got to wait it out, so to speak. So tomorrow will be the big press conference, I guess, or speech from Powell at Jackson Hole, and everyone's waiting to see what he says. So in the meantime, markets are going to stay volatile and a little rocky. Speaking of volatility and rockiness, yesterday, we had another massive outflow for Bitcoin and Ethereum, 316 million for Bitcoin and 240 million for ETH. And all of that's from BlackRock. So again, yeah, Wall Street's a little scared right now. And Wall Street tends to be very reactionary. When they see some red, what do? They sell off. They dump. Okay? Not everyone on Wall Street are long-term investors. A lot of them are short-term investors, and they just follow the herd. They see everyone else is selling, and they jump in. But when it comes to Bitcoin and crypto, that's not what you want to do. The longer you hold, the more you make. That's generally how it works with Bitcoin. But you know what? There are some that won't understand, but those that do will continue to stack sats and benefit from it, right? So that's why we still have a lot of long-term holders, even new institutions and companies, they're still loading up. They're either getting involved or loading up because they know short-term macro conditions or short-term weakness, they will always come. They will come and go. But long-term, our financial system isn't stable, built on a house of cards. All this with monetary policy, rates, inflation, there will continue to be problems forever. That's why we have Bitcoin. That's why Bitcoin was created. So if you understand that, you will hold on and DCA Bitcoin forever, right? So we got someone new, Mac House, purchased their first 18 Bitcoin. It's a small amount, but hey, their target is 1,000 Bitcoins. You got to start somewhere. Just like all the other companies that have started with their small purchases, now they have thousands, tens of thousands, to hundreds of thousands of Bitcoin. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. Accumulator addresses, sky high right now. So despite the fact it seems like, well, there's so much fear right now, Wall Street's dumping. Well, there are still a lot of people, especially long-term holders, or people that are new that believe, that are coming into this space. Because we have a lot of new addresses that are just accumulating. And they are accumulating because they're getting ready for the next run, the next phase, so to speak. And there are a couple of graphs, well, a couple of metrics actually, that show that this next phase that will take us to the top will actually start very, very soon. According to this person, Jelly, says we have 1,064 days of expansion, with most of the gains taking place in the final 30 to 60 days of the cycle. And that window kicks off next week. Interesting. Maybe it kicks off next week because of the Jackson Hole speech. Or because we're going to get our rate cut, right? Or maybe it has nothing to do with any of that and it's just according to plan. Here's another one too. Here's another one that shows that we're getting ready. You see that those green dots on the bottom, right? These are measurements of local bottoms or local tops. And you could see how we're in the second phase, right? Every cycle, there's like two like legs up or parabolic phases. And we just formed that second green dot. And that's when things get really crazy. So it kind of aligns with the previous person. Basically, we're getting ready for that next big run. We'll see. There are a lot of things happening in the next few months. Rate cuts, ETF approvals. A lot of them are being approved in October. And we got that Santa rally to look forward to too.